The most common question that I received when I put it out on Facebook and Twitter that we were going to do this interview was, what is the difference between skim milk, 2%, and whole milk? And specifically, people, when they talk about skim milk, they kind of always have their nose wrinkled up, like they feel like they should be drinking it, but they think something's kind of off about it. What are your thoughts? Skim milk?
Milk has fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K, and so they're more digestible and readily digestible in full-fat milk. And we've kind of gone full circle on the milk. We had the hysteria of fat is bad. And so there was a push to go to skim milk, and fat now is back. We're seeing that in sales of butter. Everybody wants full fat milk again, and it's better for you. It's better for your body. I think it was, what we were made to digest. So
it certainly tastes better when you have the full fat. But so in skim milk, or what is it? 2% means what?
So 2% is the percent fat in the milk, which, really your milk is 98% fat-free at 2%. And to go full fat milk, you're at 3.5%.
Oh, it's not that much. The difference between 2% and full is not that much.
Right, and that's a bit of a misnomer, too, that people think, I'm saving so many calories by consuming skim milk. The amount of fat in one scoop of ice cream, or one small scoop of ice cream, is the same as the difference between 3.5% and 2% in a glass of milk. And so it's really, really minimal.
Wow, that's incredible. And what is vitamin D milk?
So vitamin D, we had an issue in the U.S. with rickets way back in the day, and the solution to rickets is vitamin D. And they found, particularly in African Americans, they don't absorb vitamin D as readily as white-skinned people. And in areas where there was limited sunshine, there was more and more rickets being developed. And so in order to answer that, they asked the dairy community to add vitamin D to their milk to alleviate that.
No kidding. It's interesting that, when you look at the integration of milk into schools, into the food pyramid, like you guys are really at the center of government intervention, or I don't know what you want to call that, but like definitely the U.S. dairy has been an important part of its growth in the modern age.
Absolutely. As far as an economical way to get fat, to get vitamins and minerals, it's about as top of the class. It's been described as nature's most perfect food, right? It's why mothers have that for babies at their most vital and critical point in their life is they're being fed milk, because it contains everything that they need in order to survive. So there's some argument, I think, as people age, the propensity to have lactose intolerance increases. So we're seeing that. But it's also an area, I think, in the earlier days, people that domesticated the cow and found a way to bring the cow into their tribe had a source of food and calories year-round. And it actually enabled Europe to grow and prosper because they had access to calories year-round, and they had the ability to feed their people. And so there's a saying that the cow is the foster mother of the human race. And there's a lot of truth in that. The cow, I think, is responsible for a lot of people being alive today.
Well, I've given talks to various dairy associations, and one crowd pleaser is to stand up and say the dairy farmer is the original ultimate warrior, because once you had domesticated the milking cow, you now could move around in tribes, and you had mobile protein factories that could convert sunlight into protein, that you didn't have to slaughter the animal. You could get it day in and day out, and that made it so their children grew up to be stronger and much a lot more muscle, and those were the ones that there's theories out there that is how Europe was conquered, and the dairy farmers were the ones that ran everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the Dutch people are known to be some of the tallest in the world, and the Dutch people also, that's where the Holstein Friesian cow came from. So the dairy industry has always kind of been close and tied close to the Dutch people, and there is a correlation to height as far as the consumption of dairy products in Europe in particular. So much so, in fact, that a friend had said that he was in the Philippines, and the Philippines now, is it Philippines or one of these other Asian countries, are pushing their people to consume a glass of milk every single day in order to increase their height. They wanted to train their people to consume more milk, and because there is a correlation to that.
Every day when I was in kindergarten, we lined up in line, walked to the cafeteria, and every single one of us got that little pint of milk, and you could choose between chocolate or white. And I remember that nobody chose white because it was always frozen because it was in the back because none of the kids wanted it.
That is awesome. Yeah, no, that's great. And there's been some debate even recently. I think under the Obama administration, they pulled out the full fat milk and the chocolate milk. And so they said, no, you're only going to be able to, I believe, drink skim milk. And so it cratered demand and the kids didn't want it and like skim milk. So they wanted, again, full fat milk that tastes good and also chocolate or strawberry. Or
what do you say to the people that say, humans are the only ones that drink the milk of another animal, and this is some sort of unholy, you were referring to it as the foster mother of children. There are people that view that very, very negatively.
I mean, every time I put a bowl of cow's milk out, my cat comes and drinks it up. So does my dog.
There you go. I've never heard that response before.
Right.
Okay.
So I don't think that's true at all. There are.
They would be milking cows if they.
If they had the ability, and they drink full fat chocolate milk. So yeah. So no, I don't concur with that statement. I think we see it in other animals. If they have had the chance or if they had the ability to, they would drink milk from cows. So.
Thanks for watching this podcast short. You can find the rest of the interview on my channel. If you like this video, I hope you'll hit the like button and consider subscribing. I release a new interview with an interesting person every Wednesday morning.